Hello and welcome to Talent Thrives Here, our podcast where we talk to trailblazers in several industries. Our special guest today is Jean-Eric Henault from Montreal, Quebec. If you don't know JE was a creative person and a technologist and a number of things in his career coming up. And what I remember him specifically for was several years ago putting together with some colleagues of his ADAPT conference in Montreal, Quebec. And it was a great kind of connecting point for creative as well as technical people, artistic people, producers in video games and AR, VR and visual effects and animation. And JE and his pals brought in people from all over the world. It was an amazing conference. JE, welcome to our show today. Nice to see you.
Same here. Thank you for having me. Adapt. It's happened from 2006, 2008. We had guests like Sid Mead, Scott Robertson. We had studios like ILM, DreamWorks, Sony, Pixar, Disney. I think I'm repeating myself. Blizzard, also EA, Activision. We had a mix of game, film, and VFX studios, and it was kind of like the first time we had such an event in Montreal, or maybe even Canada. I think I might be wrong, but yeah, it was pretty much new at the time.
Yeah, I distinctly remember you mentioned Sid Mead. I think I've told you before in the past. Like I was having breakfast in a hotel lobby in the restaurant with an art director at a video game studio, and we were chatting, and Sid Mead sat right next to me, and we the two of us kind of melted down. We're like, oh my God, it's Sid Mead right there. I could have elbowed him. So we said hello, and he introduced himself, and we had a great chat and everything. But it was that kind of really cool thing that these are we're fans of these people. We grew up, sort of idolizing their art and their achievements in film and video games. And so it was amazing. And I remember too sitting through it was probably about a 2 hour seminar with a bunch of guys from, I think, DreamWorks talking about eyes in animation and how how do you make eye movement look real in animation so it doesn't look cartoony, and it was packed. There had to be 300 or 400 people jammed in the room, and these guys had done an amazing seminar and almost a mini documentary on eye movement through film through the ages, and it was just great. It was a fantastic conference. But tell me, I've heard a rumor that Adapt may come back. Am I correct?
Yes, we're planning for a summer 2026, 2027 return in a brand new format. Back in the days, it was all lectures, most of it, and most of those are now available for free on YouTube. So, it's not really fair to compare. We are going to have some of those, of course, but we're going to have a new focus essentially on also business development, fostering the job industry and, having discussion on how to fix the industry, which right now is hit by a lot of layoffs. It's the back of my mind, but also the long term, we're looking also giving the opportunity to develop IPs. So we want to bring both creatives of all level, but also like distributors. We're talking about, we want to bring the Netflix of this world, the streamers, the Valve, the Epic Games, and all these companies to come in Montreal and look at the projects that are being made
Yeah.
for instruction purposes as well, but also bring investors, which is I think the big difference here. By bringing investors that can look at the projects and look at the what's being done, because often investment is the big thing that's missing in the industry to start a
Yes.
project. It's
Yeah.
the nerve of the game essentially, and we would like to change that. And so we want to create something where projects not just get distributed, but also invested into. So that's our goal with that. That with the Adapt One platform, we're building like a whole ecosystem where people are going to be able to look and vet projects. Anyway, there's a
Mm.
whole conversation about that, but we want to build something where essentially we can fix that problem. And because right now we identify the biggest source of disruption in the industry is a lack of funding, a bit of lack of trust between investors and studios. Right now, there's been a lot of like problems at that level. So we're talking to like large financial institution, and that's why they keep telling us. Right now, they kind of pulled out because they feel the industry, they've been losing a lot of money the past few years. Like, a lot of projects have not been as successful as they hoped, so they're being careful right now. But we think
Right.
there are solutions, and we're building something, and we're looking to find partners to help us build that for ADAPT 2026 and 2027. We're actively looking for partnership with schools, businesses, technology companies, and all the likes to come and join us.
Right. Very, very exciting. So there'll be like pitch contests. Am I correct? Like
Yes,
people pitching
but
their IP and trying to
well,
find buyers to.
Yes, and it's
Um,
going to be at different levels. Some of our partners, I will not name for now, it's still not confirmed, but I've suggested, for example, they would like to have IPs that are ready to produce. I mean that
right.
essentially they already have a team in place, they already have the infrastructure. All they need is a check essentially to get started.
Yeah.
So that's why we're going to try to. But I guess we could welcome IP projects at different stages of development, from the concept, so they could at least get some feedback if it's, having started discussion and then see what happens.
Yeah.
So it could be for all kind of investors from, someone wants to invest like 25,000 to someone, like a big bank in Middle East that want to invest $100 million on a game, for example.
Sure. Sure.
Because, one thing I will realize in the development of that, for example, in the Middle East, there's all these funds, these sovereign funds, they're called. The Saudi PIF, for example, they have like $800 billion that they're investing in everything from entertainment, video game, culture,
Wow.
technology, and sport. We don't touch the sport part, but everything else we pretty much touch. And they're looking for partnership.
Yeah.
So we're working with Canadian banks to attract these investment funds to Montreal to
Hmm.
come and invest their money essentially. So that's also going to be the big thing. We want to bring the big money. Our goal in a couple of years would be to have at least $1 billion in investment at the show every year that can
Wow.
be invested into projects of all kinds.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. And coming out of Quebec.
Yes.
It's fantastic. And I'm assuming that hopefully, I would guess part of the deals would be co-productions or something where some of the production has to be done in Canada. Am I correct?
Yes. Well, we're in discussion with local banks, and the idea is that some of that fund would be invested conditionally that the production is made in Quebec or Canada, depending on the bank level. But
Yeah.
let's say it's an investment from the PIF or from Qatar or Bahrain and all these places. There's also a lot of funds like in Europe or someone say the Sequoia, whatever investment fund in
Right.
California, they wouldn't care. But our goal is to create a critical mass that will attract all these investors in one place. Some of these
Right.
funds might be conditional to being produced in Quebec. Some of it might not be because we don't control what's going on outside of our borders, obviously. So they
Yeah.
can do whatever they want. But our goal is to create the momentum to get started and get the investment coming like on a yearly basis, so
Yeah.
they can find projects and projects can find the money they need to get started.
Right.
And that would be additional to the tax credit that are available here or in Ontario and all over the world. So if someone can get the funding plus they get the tax credits,
Yeah.
that's a miracle. The problem with the tax credits right now, very often they're only given at the end of the production, which doesn't
Mm.
help started starting the
Yeah. Yeah.
production.
Yeah. You need to finance. You need a partner to help. Or a bond company or somebody to bankroll the beginning of it. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, it sounds exciting. I'm amazed, and I'm sure you will attract some amazing talent again because I remember every time we went to Adapt, there was so many great speakers and fantastic people from the industry presenting. Just it was all very relevant topics at the time. I remember thinking,
We're going to
"This is
start to be
great
announcing
stuff."
some new speakers. I think, well, will blow your mind in the next few months. Probably by
Yeah.
October, November, we're going to start to make some announcements. But yeah, it's already lining up to be a great lineup.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Good, good. Well, look, if people want to find you, I'm sure they can find you on LinkedIn, JE, anywhere else, or is LinkedIn fine at this point?
Adapt.one would be a good place to find us. We're going to be launching a proper site for Adapt Montreal in the next few months as well. But in the meantime, contact me at adapt.one. That's the main domain. And
Okay.
or you can email me at g@adapt1. And also, of course, LinkedIn is a good place to reach me as well.
Sure. Sure. Good. Well, look, let's stay in touch. I hope to have you back in a few months and we'll see what's happening as it evolves. And I'm very excited. And I'm sure the industry will be very excited as well because this is not just adapt the way it used to be, it's adapt to the whole new flavor with
It
this
is adapted.
investment and IP investment. And yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting for the whole industry. So thank you again to
My
you and your
pleasure.
colleagues for getting this together, and I'm sure it's a ton of thankless work behind the closed doors, behind the scenes, right? So
Yep.
thank you so much for getting this rolling. Is there anything else you want to say before we cap today's episode?
Just one last thing, I used to run CG Channel before, and all these years I met these great artists who told me repeatedly that their goal was to make their own productions, and in experience, it almost rarely happened. I hope to be able to change that with Adapt, what we're doing. So let's
Yeah,
hope for the best.
excellent, great. Thank you again. We'll probably talk to you very soon. Take care.
Thank you.